Welcome back. I'm Bonnie Belec. I'm the municipal reporter for the Telegram. Joining me today is the mayor of St. John's, Dennis O'Keefe. Thank you very much for being here.
Always a pleasure, Bonnie.
You just came back from a cruise ship industry conference?
I certainly did. I was there for the last 7-8 days.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where was it?
Yeah, it was in Miami. And it's a regular meeting. We do this every year. And it's part of the city and the Port Authority and Cruise Newfoundland and Labrador marketing and promoting and meeting with all of those who are involved in the industry, because it's an industry based on building relationships, so that what you do today you may not see the benefit of until 3 or 4 years out, because they plan that industry 3-4 years ahead. So right now they're looking at scheduling, for example, into 2015.
And how important is it to the city?
I think it's one of the it's one part of the tourism fabric in the city. City tourism is worth close on to $400 million. Cruise tourism is a part of that. Bonnie, any time that you bring 20 or 30,000 people into the city of St. John's and the province of Newfoundland and Labrador over a 3-month period, there is a monetary value in terms of return on investment, and the return on investment in this case is very good. And there's also an investment there in the reputation and the profile of the city, so that as we do all these things, not only are we contributing to the economy of the city and the economy of the province. For example, some years the value of cruise tourism is in the vicinity of $3 million and permeating the whole economy of the city. So there's that financial value, and also the profile value. People become more aware of the city of St. John's. They come back on land-based vacations, and it just heightens our profile also. It makes us a destination and a nice place to visit and a nice place to come and work.
There have been some complaints, though, from people that, maybe the cruise industry isn't all that, spending the tax dollars on it, as well as environmental concerns.
Yep.
Have you heard any of that?
Well, I hear scatterings from Ross Klein that I don't put too much credence in, to be honest with you. And no matter what you do in an industry, you'll have those who are in favor and those who are not in favor. For instance, yesterday at the airport in Ottawa, I ran into a young business person who was waiting to fly home, and he came over, shook my hand, told me how pleased he was with the city and what we were doing. And one of the things he talked about was the cruise industry. And he said, I think it's absolutely marvelous. He said, during that season, I'd love to come down on the waterfront, I'd love to come down to Water Street and just look at these beautiful ships as they come in. There's a value there too, there's an entertainment value. Economically, the return on investment is excellent. As I say, over a 3-month period, $3 million, for example, some years coming into the city economy, affecting the Port Authority, affecting the retailers, tour operators, tour companies, people who give tours, the restaurants, the bars, and on it goes.
So talking about the economy of the cruise ship industry, the economy of the city apparently is booming, doing very well.
City is doing excellent, I must say. And the evidence of that, of course, is all over the city. And wherever you go, excuse me, you see economic growth. I have people say to me how nice it is to go downtown and see all these cranes that are operational now in the construction of new buildings, new office buildings downtown, new hotels in the downtown and in other parts of the city. All the indicators, all the economic indicators are up. So that will continue. I'm confident that what this council has done, and in the last 4 years, I think this council has been a very, very good council, has performed well, has delivered in terms of providing services to residents and providing economic growth and development. And that's what it's all about.
So given the economic boom and all the development, do you think the city did enough with the rising municipal assessment on properties this year?
Yeah, we recognize, and I'm hoping the province will recognize too, as soon as they can, that we have to have a new fiscal relationship, that it is not fair for property owners to bear the burden of totally funding the services that this city and other towns and cities across Newfoundland and Labrador have to bear. Out of a tax dollar, we get about 8 cents, and every municipality is right across Canada, they would get about 8 cents on a dollar. And you can't run the city on that. When we were doing our budget for 2013, we tried to identify the minimum amount of funding growth would be needed to provide the same level of service in 2013 as we did in 2012. And we predicted a growth rate in the budget of about 3.8%, which is pretty good to provide the same level of service. And then we set the mill rate there, and the rest of that we return to the taxpayer in the form of reducing the mill rate. And we reduced the mill rate by the largest amount in this region. And we did that because we recognized that not to do so would provide too great a burden on property owners and on business people here in the city of St. John's. And we predict over the next few years from property taxes, there will continue to be a growth of about 1.7%. Now the kicker is 1.7% in property revenue growth is not sufficient, will not be sufficient to continue to operate the city and provide the same level of service that people expect. That is why we need a new fiscal relationship with the province.
Just want to jump right to the election in
Sure.
September. There's definitely going to be new faces around the table.
Yep.
Do you have any thoughts on what you'd like to see, or?
Well, there will be new faces around the table. There'll be at least 4, because there'll be 3 councillors, and either Councillor O'Leary or I won't be there. And I have to say, I was delighted to hear that she had decided to run for mayor. No surprise, Tom Mulcair made the original announcement back last year, and this is the follow-up, and I'm absolutely delighted. Bonnie, I think it's great that more people are interested in municipal politics. We now have 3 candidates, and the more choices people have, the better off we will be as a city. And you know what? I think there may be even more yet before we get into September, so I'm looking forward to September. Right now, I'm mayor, and I will continue every day to do the job that I was elected to do, to run the city day in, day out. And probably in August, late August, after people have enjoyed the summer and are ready for an election, then late August, early September, my campaign will be up and running. And end of September, I hope to be back here talking to you.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
And we'll see you on the campaign trail.
You certainly will.